you've seen success story after success story like we have, where people come to us where they're completely devastated. Their families are barely hanging together, and as they put in the time and the work and the effort, all of a sudden, not only have they resolved those relational things and the families are supportive again, but now they're living fulfilling and rewarding and content lives. And the amount of thanks that we get, well, it's greatly encouraging. You see the difference in their lives and in the lives of others, as well as you mentioned another piece too, which is important, is the positive impact they have on their children.
Absolutely.
So many times, probably like you, as one of the clients would say to me, I'm so thankful that I worked through my issues because I had no idea how I was turning my child into an anxious person. And so they're able to make those changes. So it's just greatly fulfilling on our side. But again, from the person who's considering therapy or working through therapy, it's not an easy process, is it?
No, it's to go into this expecting that it's going to be a smooth ride is really, I'll be honest, blunt, it's disillusional.
Yeah.
It isn't like that. You know what? Your life is worth fighting for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our lives are worth fighting for. I really encourage people to, fight for that joyful life that they have. And what I mean by fight is don't give up, don't give in, continue to work. And the one thing about recovering with anxiety is it's not something that you do actually have a battle with.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the way to beat it is to not fight it. That's the irony.
Yeah.
Don't fight it. Let it go. Let it run its course. Don't react to it. By reacting to it catastrophically and fighting against it, almost like you're in a war, actually makes it worse. That was the biggest thing that I learned. Don't fight it. Ride it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big thing. So, but you know what? You got to fight for your life too, and and that means sometimes fighting for your life means I got to invest in therapy. And one last thing too is that we coaches at the Anxiety Center, we don't want the finances to be an additional stressor to our clients. That's why we offer biweekly sessions as well.
Yeah.
We just want them to get help,
Mm-hmm.
and we want them to experience what we've experienced. And for me, there's no greater reward than when a client says, you know what, there was a time when I couldn't leave my house, and now, I have a job, I can drive my car. It's hard to put into words the gratification that we get when our clients are graduated.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And you said, well, those things are powerful statements. One thing I wanted to add to that too is, you're right, fight for your life. Too many of us settled for less. I could have settled for being, having a very, very minimal and hardship life at that particular point had I not chosen to do that. I could have settled, and I could have struggled for another 20 years. Yeah. But you're right, it's so important for us to fight for that, because life can be so much better. And the other thing, too, is we had a question the other day on the board that said, if it's God will that I struggle. Well, God doesn't want us to struggle with anxiety.
No way.
That's a choice we make, isn't it?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
God wants us to live a joyful life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and like I said before, I really believe that the reason a lot of us can't live a joyful life is because of what we tell ourselves, what we say to ourselves about things. It's not what God is doing to us or what God is saying to us. It's about what we're saying to ourselves. So we have to learn how to talk to ourselves and treat ourselves, more kindly. And frankly, we need to just stop being so hard on who we are and trust that, I read a book here the other day, and I'd like to maybe say this. There's a really great book out there, and it's called Grace Walk by Steve McVey, and he talks a lot in here at one point about that. He says that we need to live our lives like butterflies. He says, but the problem is we think like we're caterpillars.
That's right.
And, we're still crawling around trying to eat the leaves, and stuff. But we're really butterflies. We should be out flying and enjoying life. You know what? And the cool thing about a butterfly is that when you allow yourself to fly and be the beautiful person that you are, people are going to admire you. They're going to want to know more about you. And you know what? You're going to have a huge impact on the people around you. So I guess the one thing I want to tell people is be a butterfly and fly. Stop being a caterpillar.
That's right. Sounds good. One last question is one of my clients, we had talked for a long time, and she finally came to the conclusion. She says, you know what, Jim, one thing I've just dawned on me is that I have to take personal responsibility for where I am in my recovery and my condition. So how important is taking personal responsibility?
Well, I think you're touching on kind of what I said before, is that each client has to have a personal buy-in. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It doesn't matter what I tell them or what we tell them or what we teach them. If you don't buy into it and take ownership over your own recovery, then what you're really doing is you're trying to put the onus on your coach. And, I really believe, that I'm not the expert. Okay, yeah, I'm specialized in this because of my experience and training. But you know what? The reality is none of us are experts. Okay? And now what do I mean by that is this, that more often than not, clients expect their therapist to have all the answers and fix them. Okay? But clients don't need to be fixed because they're not broken. Okay? Yes, they're generally stuck, and it's our role to collaboratively unstick them. But it's impossible to be the expert because I don't literally experience what they're experiencing. They know their own life, so that makes it them the expert, not me. And besides, I want the client to take all the credit for their recovery. We're here to walk alongside our clients, help them achieve their goals, which is to become anxiety disorder free. But we can't do it for them. They have to do this for themselves. And that's what I think your client was touching on. They got to buy in and say, the only one who can really do this is me. And once you acknowledge that, it's an incredibly rewarding experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really agree. You bet. Well, Stacey, again, I wanted to thank you so much for taking the time today to have this conversation. I'm sure others are going to value it as I did. It's great to chat with you that way. And we are going to be connecting again soon and have follow-up conversations. And so, again, I just wanted to thank you for taking that time and sharing this information with our members. I look forward to talking soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.